Almost 8 out of 10 reclusive youths in Korea have contemplated suicide. According to the Ministry of Health and Welfare on Wednesday, 75.4% of respondents between the age of 19 and 39 who classify themselves as social recluses said they had thought about committing suicide. Social recluses or reclusive loners, as the government has dubbed them, refer to those who voluntarily withdraw from society by locking themselves in their homes for months and even years. In the Ministry of latest survey conducted from July to August this year, 21,360 people in their 20s and 30s responded that they feel secluded and isolated. The highest number of respondents, accounting for 26.3%, said they were in a reclusive state for 1 to 3 years, while 6.1% said they stay reclusive for over a decade. Those who did not even come out of their rooms accounted for 5.7%. By age, those between 25 and 29 accounted for the most at 37%, followed by those from 30 to 34 at 32.4%. Over 70% of the respondents to the survey were women. The most widespread causes for them to stay isolated were failing to get employed, interpersonal relationships, and family relationships. Over half of the respondents suffer from poor mental health at 63.7%. Notably, 75.4% express having considered suicide, and 26.7% reported actual suicide attempts. This figure is overwhelmingly higher compared to the overall youth population, where 2.3% have considered suicide attempts, according to the survey by the Korea Institute for Health and Social Affairs last year. However, most respondents long to overcome and escape from isolation and seclusion. Among those in a state of isolation and seclusion, 80.8% said they wanted to escape their current situation, while 67.2% had attempted to break free from isolation. However, 45.6% of the respondents said their attempts were in vain for multiple reasons, including lack of money and time. Experts believe the social cost of neglecting isolated and reclusive youth will amount to approximately 7 trillion won. According to a study released in August by the Korea Youth Foundation and Yonsei University researchers, the economic loss due to the abandonment of economic activities by isolated and secluded youth is around 6.7 trillion won annually. Welfare costs incurred due to health deterioration and poverty amount to approximately 200 billion won a year. Based on this survey result, the Ministry of Health and Welfare has developed a support plan for isolated and secluded youth with other related ministry, which was reported at a meeting discussing youth policies chaired by Prime Minister Han Duck-soo on Wednesday. The government plans to establish an online self-diagnosis system to identify those at high risk and set up a one-stop support center for those in need. 4 metropolitan cities and provinces will be selected to establish so-called Youth Future Centers, to support isolated and secluded youth, with a budget of 1.3 billion won allocated for support activities. If you or someone you know is feeling emotional distress or struggling with the thought of suicide, Lifeline Korea can be contacted at 1-588-9191. The Seoul Foreign Resident Center offers English language counseling. Contact 02-2229-4900 to arrange a session. Other international helpline can be found at www.befrienders.org.